Good evening, everybody. I hope you understand me. I have a little bit of a cold.
Do you want us to put, we have a second microphone to make it too. Can everybody hear Claudine at the back?
Yes.
Did you hear that she was talking about advocacy and how important it was? and that you had to follow us on Twitter and no? Okay, then.
It's my presentation now. Come on. So,
there is a microphone if you want.
well, the audience will tell me if you hear me.
I keep it ready.
Change it.
Nee, we gaan nu aan de andere kant zitten, sorry.
Double impact.
Ja, en dan het moet echt zwaar geladen zijn. Dank je.
Okay. So my name is Claudine Knop. I'm very excited to be here. It was a very positive story that I just heard, and I'm a big fan of your story, Günther. Thank you so much. And I think I will go in the same direction of what I heard. Maybe a little bit of information on me. I studied history in Leuven, not in Brussels. I live in Brussels. And from history, I jumped into the data world immediately. History means that you try to understand things, and you look back and then you look forward. And so I think that in the data world, I continue to do so. How to respond to the consumer of today? We are all professionals here. We are here from our data perspective. We all work in the data context, but of course we're all consumers. And we heard the story of Günther, and I wonder how often do we have this experience that we say, hey, this brand really listened to me. This brand really is interested in me, and this brand really followed me, and I'm not queuing, and I'm not here at the final stage and saying, hey, I wanted to buy this product and I came to your shop to buy it because you didn't follow me and you didn't see what I was doing. It doesn't happen that much yet, and that's why I'm so very positive to see that the marketeers, the good ones I would say, are understanding this challenge and are doing things within a company to start acting upon it. Because indeed that's what the consumer wants, needs. It is, I work at DBM, Data for Better Marketing, and DBM has a belief, and of course I have the same belief, otherwise I wouldn't work at DBM. And that belief is that when you are a marketeer, you should take an empty chair, put it in front of you and put the consumer there. Or put the B2B decision maker there. It's the same. It's the same because it's a human too. You should put him in front of you and really wonder, what is he saying me? Or what is the message he brings to me? And am I ready? Do I dare to put him really on the chair where the decisions are taken? Am I ready to do so? So I think that as a sector we are all in, we should take on a mission on us, and Philippe is doing so also with the community he's creating. We're taking up a mission, and this mission is that data-driven economy and data-driven marketing has a power. There is something, it makes something possible. What we should do, I think, if we are marketeers or if we are active in the sector of data-driven marketing, is that we should protect this business and give it a push. Give it a push to guard it so that it is well used, positively used, and give it a push. And the push that it should get is the push of human first. Look at the consumer and see a human into it, and understand and listen to what he's saying. Look to the decision maker and see a human into this person and understand what he's saying. This human first is something that is very important to protect. If we do not protect this, the direction in which data-driven economy may go, it can go everywhere, and the consumer who is giving us the data will not follow anymore. He will be in the driving seat, and he will not follow anymore if we do not respect him as a human on this chair. So human first, what does it mean for a consumer? What does it mean for a marketeer? And what does it mean for a data company? That's what I would like to elaborate on. Human first means that when there is a consumer that you really are interested in listening to that person. How can he talk to you? There's only one way that he can talk to you, that is that you take the time and the energy to capture the data that he's giving you. He's giving you data in a conscious way, he's giving you data in an unconscious way because he doesn't really know that the data is out there. But when he gives you data on a conscious way, it is your duty, I would say, to capture it, to organize it, to connect it, to link it, and to use it to respond and to sense, to respond to this individual, just like Hunter said. That's the duty, that's the new business of data that we are in. I'm much older than Hunter, so I really also learned about the marketing and about how it was the push marketing, and how now I'm convinced that this business is dead. This business is dead, and we should go to this new opportunity to sense and respond to the human. What is he saying? Where is he? Is he in a hurry? Has he already bought a product? All these things are sent to the marketeers. The data is there. It is our duty now to capture it. And of course, the question was there, what about privacy then? If we're allowed to do so, we'll do so. What about privacy then? Well, I think privacy is a minimum. Privacy is a minimum. It means indeed that you have to inform the consumer. You need his consent that you can use his data. You need a contract to use the data. You have to inform him that he has to understand it. But I think that's only a minimum. When you want to use the data, you need kind of an ethics. You need to explain to this consumer that indeed the data that he's giving to you, it will come back, and only it will come back to him. It will bring him an advantage. But that is only true if you mean it. So that is only true if you really are sincere, that you say, I put the consumer in the driving seat. I will adapt myself. If we have 750,000 citizens on the Do Not Call Me list, then I think there are still a lot of marketeers who do not do what we are saying here. If we have 43% of ad blockers on mobile apps, then I think, on mobile phones, I think that we are still not doing this. Who is ready as a marketeer to put this consumer on the chair and to say, I listen to you and you are in the lead? We can do it now. Technology is there to do so. Privacy is there to do so. So it needs some guts and some ethics to say, this is what we should do, and let's now start listening to this consumer and adapt our message and our product to where he is and what he wants. So marketing, going from segments and information adapted to segments, let's say that's the easy game. You've done that, you've been there. We're going now to a situation where we want this individual, we need to know him. If we want to survive as a company, we need to be organized to capture this data and to really use it to communicate and to adapt not only the communication, of course, but also the product and the service that we offer. You could say, okay, let's do that. So then we need to work for a company where there's a lot of data, insurance, banking, energy. Let's create services in the function of the needs of the people. They use a product for more television or more the housewarming or whatever. I have this data, okay, I will use it and I will adapt my communication, my product, my pricing in function of the story of this brand. And what about the other brands then? Is it true that only these kind of brands can do this business and they will survive, and then other brands, they will die? They have the opportunity to adapt to this consumer? What if I sell toilet paper? What do I do then? Where's the data? Well, I will not elaborate on toilet paper, but what about milk? Well, I think that it's not that complicated to have another simple product and yet be data-driven. Because when you look at milk, well, milk is a story, and every company, every organization, every product should have a story. And what's the story behind milk? There is a story behind milk. The story behind milk is that, first of all, I choose to be in nutrition. I, as a company, decided to be in nutrition, not in telco, not in banking, but in nutrition. So I care about what people eat and how they eat. I care about nature. I care about animals. How animals are treated? How is my product made? How is my product packed? how do I recycle the use of my product and the waste of my product? What do I do with the profit I make? All this is part of my story, and all this story needs to be told, and the story needs to match with the individual where I talk to. So, of course, for some businesses it's easier to gather a lot of data and to be personal, but every product has a story, and when there is a story, it can be adapted to the people in the situation he is and in the context he is. And then finally we come to a situation where not only the marketing but even the product becomes really meaningful in the situation where you are. I am in a hurry, I have the time, I just bought something, I plan to buy something, all those contexts, all those events are there, and I am now, as a sales and as a marketeer, responsible to make my product meaningful because of this context. All this data is there and it can be organized now. So putting a message in function of the audience, that's too easy. Those times are done, that's the minimum. We should really adapt our message and our product to the situation where a consumer is in. That's where the new game is situated now. How do we bring marketeers to this? Because if every marketeer is convinced, then hey, this is great news for me, for you, for everybody. I experience that marketeers are still struggling with this. It's not an easy job to place not the CEO, but the consumer on the most important seat of your company. And so the data for better marketing loop conversation with the marketeer is you put there in the middle, you put there the marketeer and the consumer. They are in a discussion, they are talking, and the marketeer is understanding the consumer, and he's going to the right side of the loop, and he says, okay, when I listen to you and I understand what kind of situation you are, what your needs are, what your context is you're in, then I can imagine some kind of scenarios in which I'm relevant for you, in which I'm meaningful for you. Those scenarios I can elaborate on. How can my product, my service be meaningful for all these different kind of situations? And then I can imagine at what touch points can I then be really meaningful for you, because I have an idea and I want to translate it to a real touch point where I can be meaningful for you. This touch point can be offline, can be online, and when you have this interaction, then it will create again data. As Gunther also said, this data becomes a currency. Not yet in Belgium, let's say, but it can be a currency also in Belgium. If we say, hey, if I give you this data and I understand that you want to be more meaningful for me in exchange of this data, then this data becomes a currency. Maybe not in euros, but in experience. So this marketeer is getting this conversation and these ideas on scenarios, being meaningful, where can I be meaningful, how can I be meaningful, and what can I get back from this moment, from data, as data, and then what should I do with this data? And then you have the other loop of, well, then better be organized. Ingest this data in a technology that is able to understand all the data, to create master data, enhance it, link it, and read it, learn about it, and that's where your business is in the upper part there, in the green part, on how this data can be elaborated to create the scenarios that you need to be meaningful. A way of organizing this is, there is a lot of data already in the market. A company as DBM has a lot of blue data there for the marketeers to use it. And then we create a green era which is the combination of all the data that the client has and all the blue data of all citizens that have privacy-proof data given and that can be used. So this company data and this blue data of privacy-proof data can be brought together into a green solution. And this green solution, that's your play garden. That's where you can take up your responsibility to say, let's use this green environment of privacy-proof, a lot of trigger data on clients and a broader context on situations of data where that you didn't gather yourself, but that was gathered through others and that can be used to understand the consumer and to make my offer meaningful to the consumer. So this green era, that's the era that I suggest you to work in and to show that it is possible to really use data science up to the level of an individual and a context. I also think that as I said in the beginning, we have a mission all together. I think it's not one company or one marketeer that can change the scope. I think that we also have to learn to work together on this. There's a marketeer together with the data scientist, together with the people that make products, together with the people that create the strategies, together with people that send out the messages. A lot of different companies really should work together and create together this solution for the marketeer and to be in front of this consumer and to offer him individual services. When the marketeer has to find all those different players in the market that can do a little part of the solution, then he has a lot of time wasted to find those companies who understand his message and who want to work with him. So if we as data players and as data scientists and as strategy makers and as product developers, we can more find each other in communities like this, then we can help the marketeer to work faster and so that he can use really an ecosystem of players that understand each other and that share this same value and that work towards a solution that is a stronger solution than just one by one company competing. So not competing but embracing each other is, I think, something that is important nowadays. Energy is limited, so let's put our energy together in this challenge to bring the data-driven economy to human first. It's not a little challenge, it's a big challenge, and it's the only challenge I think we should take seriously to make our data-driven economy persist and evolve in the right direction, in the direction of human first. So humanizing data, that's what I think has to be done together. So I invite you to take this seriously and to let me know how the data scientists will work together with us to make this possible. Thank you.